Sup everyone, this is Draco back yet again with some latest Manchester United transfer news and speculation today. And today we've got an exclusive interview that Ed Woodwards gave out to Manchester Evening News or his match day notes against Aston Villa. It is match day today, obviously. He has come out and said a few things, few interesting points that I wanted to kind of raise and talk about with you guys and discuss with you guys. Also, I'll be kind of discussing the latest around several potential transfer news and speculation, especially Donny van der Beek. Remember him, Max Aarons, Casado, etc. But let's get straight in it. Ed Woodward, he's come out and given an interview saying that the future looks bright. Just the gist of it. So I'll read you out what he has said, then we'll kind of gauge on it. The team's positive form has lifted all our spirits in recent weeks, winning 7 and drawing 2 of our last 9 domestic games at the time of writing. And let's hope for another entertaining game this evening to start the new year on a bright note. While this remains a difficult winter in the short term, we can all feel more optimistic about the medium and long term as vaccines arrive to fight the virus. One of the many benefits from this should be the gradual return of fans to football stadiums, and we can't wait for us to be allowed to back inside Old Trafford. So he's talked about our recent form and how excited he is, and I am excited. I'm sure all of you guys are excited. Our recent form in the Premier League has propelled us into a discussion around potential title challenges, which is where we want to be. You know, we always want to be in and around title challenges, or at least a discussion around title challenges, not that top 4 thing or whatever. He's talked about you know, obviously his medium and long-term future in terms of how difficult it is in terms of getting fans back into the stadium, and how there should be a vaccine coming up and he should be able to you know, get back into match days. And personally, for me, I would love to go back into Old Trafford. I do miss Old Trafford. I'm sure a lot of you guys miss Old Trafford. I think Old Trafford needs fans, and Old Trafford misses its fans. And hopefully, you know, everyone stays safe and healthy, and hopefully the vaccine and this virus going into 2021 goes out of the way. And Happy New Year, everyone, by the way. Sorry, I didn't even say that. But Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a fantastic day last night going into today so far. And hope you guys stay safe. Going on to the article, the team has coped well in challenging circumstances while playing behind closed doors. Indeed, at the time of writing, we have won more points per game since Project Restart last June than any other Premier League club. We also have 4 more wins and 9 more goals than at the same time last season. There are many positive statistics like these showing the progress made under Ole in the past year, but they tell only part of the story. It's just as important as is the work we see being done behind the scenes to build a winning culture consistent with the club traditions of attacking football played by a youthful, hardworking team, fusing homegrown talent with top-class recruits. We are getting closer to the objectives as the squad continues to develop following the arrivals of Bruno, Donny, Alex and Cavani. Our ongoing investment reflects the tremendous resilience of the club and our commitment to supporting Ole, while remaining disciplined at an extremely challenging time. As always, our priority is to win trophies, and with the team going into the new year competing on 4 fronts, we are optimistic about the path ahead in 2021. And rightly so. The team is playing really well in terms of our squad. We have, in my opinion, the best squad depth in the Premier League. You know, we've got quality oozing from everywhere. I mean, you just have to look at our bench, and we have the likes of Donny van der Beek, Paul Pogba, Matic, who are all really good players on the bench. You know, Mason Greenwood being another one, and then being rotated around. It's fantastic to see. Obviously, statistically, we have made improvement from last year into this year, especially in points tally, wins per game, etc. So it has been a positive start or end to the last year 2020, thankfully. However, there are a few concerns. Obviously talked about the transfers, etc, but there are a few concerns in my opinion that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have had and didn't have. Centre back, in my opinion, we should have had that. A right winger, in my opinion, we should have had that. And a lot of you guys would agree with the statement that I'm making, that we should have been, I mean, he should have backed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the time that he needed the backing, because at the end of the day, everyone in the top half of the Premier League, or the top 6, is a few points behind each other. It just requires a couple of losses and that's it. You're back into 6th, 7th. And ultimately, at Manchester United, our biggest weakness is the centre-back pairing. I mean, we can score goals because we got the talents up front and talents creating in the midfield for the likes of Anthony Martial, Rashford, Cavani, Mason Greenwood. But going behind is something that we have become accustomed to, I reckon. I think there is a feeling that we will not keep a clean sheet. Every game we go into, we always think, certainly I do, is, hang on, can we keep a clean sheet? No. Are we going to concede at one point? Yes. And that's where Ed Woodward and the Glazers have failed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't fully believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was fully backed in the transfer window. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needed a centre-back, especially a right winger, and he wasn't backed. Instead, we got Donny van der Beek, and I am pretty damn sure Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not want Donny van der Beek at the club. I think Jack Grealish was the target, but he just wasn't backed. And obviously, Ed Woodward in his interview is talking about disciplined, disciplined approach to mid-term, long-term approach, and but they ultimately, we've seen a bit of a pattern where Manchester United, when they are not in the Champions League, a lot of money is being spent. When they are in the Champions League, not much money has been spent. So those words coming out of Ed Woodward, I don't believe it as much as I should. I think the only saving grace for Ed Woodward is what the team is doing on the field and the position that we are in on the league table. It's as simple as that. Let me know your thoughts, what you think about Ed Woodward's interview today, and give me your thoughts, guys. That's it, really. Donny van der Beek. So Donny van der Beek, talking about Donny van der Beek, look, all of us are kind of sad and kind of confused that he doesn't play as much games that he should. He's such a quality player. Also, the fact that he doesn't really feature in any of the substitute appearances as much as he should. At least if he's not playing, at least we would have thought, hang on, he would be appearing from the bench, etc., etc. He is behind the pecking order of Fred, McTominay, Pogba, Matic, and Bruno Fernandes. Sorry, I forgot about Bruno Fernandes because I don't see him as a central midfielder, but he is behind all this. He's basically a sixth choice midfielder, which is sad to see with such a talent of Donny van der Beek. We do not know what's happening in the background. Maybe there's an agreement of playing time. There is an agreement that, if, your squad rotation or whatever, we do not know what's happening in the background. But what we can see is that he's such an immense player. He's a quality player, a product of Ajax. Very talented player, and he's not getting minutes. Forget games. Like, you can get games every game, like the last 10 minutes you come in, but he's not getting enough minutes, and it is kind of a bit of a concern. Latest transfer news coming around, speculation coming around Donny van der Beek is that Inter Milan are interested in a loan move for Donny van der Beek. I don't think that's a good idea. I think, that will not show that will show up the board, and I don't think people like Ed Woodward will allow that. Imagine not being able to get your target, and the target that you got, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is Donny van der Beek, and a few months down the line you loaned him out. It will show that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not. It will confirm that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not want Donny van der Beek, but the board ended up paying money for him and got him, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't need him or use him, so he had to loan him out rather than sell him off. Right? It will not look good on the board and Ole Gunnar and Ed Woodward, and rightly so. Rightly so. This is the product of their own demise. I think Donny van der Beek is a fantastic player. He'll get into a lot of teams around the world football. A lot of teams he'll get into. At Manchester United, he seems to be struggling to even make minutes on the field. And Ed Woodward talking about astute signings. I don't think Donny van der Beek was an astute signing. It was more like Ed Woodward signing rather than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted Jack Grealish, and he didn't get Jack Grealish, and ended up settling for Donny van der Beek, which he didn't like. Obviously, a few other signings like Alex Telles, I think, was a good signing. And Bruno Fernandes, I reckon we wouldn't have got him in the January. I think we would have got him in that summer of last year. But the pressure that the club got, we ended up buying Bruno Fernandes. Edinson Cavani was never our first choice. It was more of a panic buy. He's been a free agent, and us signing him in the last minutes of the window, it's a panic buy. If he was a free agent all this month, then why didn't you sign him up earlier at the start of the season, or at least pre-season? So a lot of things that Ed Woodward obviously saying, as expected, he will say. He's talked about youth as well, and there is a lot of investment happening behind the scene at youth level. We've seen that, we've known that. Obviously, Casado is another one that's been mentioned a lot in recent weeks. and I think he's going to be one of the players that we end up signing in the January transfer window. But I don't believe we will get many other players in the January transfer window, as much as I would love to get someone like a centre back. But it's going to be difficult. January transfer windows are always difficult because teams are in the middle of a season. They are more reluctant to sell. Most likely the prices are going to be overpriced anyway in January transfer. Very rarely that a January transfer comes in and makes an immediate impact. I burped. Immediate impact at any club. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes being the recent example, it was a great income, but it was a great signing. But that's the latest on Manchester United news. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, smash the like button, guys. It does go a really long way. As always, stay funny.